Good morning. It's Laura from McNeely Garden Studios coming to you Tuesday at 10. And we have something really fun to think about and paint today. I want to know, when was the last time that you got really excited about something? If you think of something and you want to put it in the comments, you go ahead and do that. I was thinking, I had an experience the other night, and it just kind of gave me the idea. Sometimes when you get older, you forget what it's like to be a kid. You forget to be excited about the little things. And so today we're going to paint fireflies. So the other night, our community, it's a small community, but they put on a fireworks show and have for 30 years. And where I live, I can literally see it right out. It's really an ideal spot because it's not too loud and it's not in the crowd. And so we were out there waiting for the fireworks to start. And you know what time fireworks start? They start at dark 30. Which means just a little bit after dusk. So there's something else that happens right at dusk. And I was looking off across the neighbor's expansive yard, and I saw it. I saw this little glitter, this little sparkle, this little light. And I got really excited, because they were fireflies, and I hadn't seen any in a long time. I guess I hadn't paid attention maybe. So I was really excited to see that, because that brought back a lot of childhood memories and catching them and putting them in the jar. My mother would never let me keep them. I could put them by my bedside until I fell asleep, and then she came and got them and let them out. So she was quite conservationist that way. But so today I'm going to teach you how to paint some fireflies, and we're going to use some different materials than you might think. Okay, so I'm going to turn you down this way. Ready? All right, I want you to really be able to see. So I have my paper taped down so that I will have a nice edge, but also so that it doesn't curl. And I have a clear crayon. It's just wax, just clear wax. But you can also use other kinds of crayons. However, Crayola is the best. You can use white. And but this will preserve the color of the light that they are emitting. And it'll be the color of the paper. So I'm going to just draw some circles around their little bottoms here. And that's going to resist the paint from being able to paint there. And the eye likes odd numbers. So I had 3 and I decided to add some more, and this one's flying off the page, so we're only going to get to see his light there. So I have an odd number 5 on there. So also I thought I would share with you too some of the differences between a very basic, dollar store type watercolor and like mine. So, and you can mix these colors. There's just not a wide range of things to mix, but you can do it. But I wanted to show you the difference. This one is this one, and it's a pretty blue, but it's not a night sky blue. Whereas this one is already mixed and it comes in the pan in this one. But I think for this one, we're just going to use the inexpensive paint, just to prove that we can paint something beautiful with inexpensive paint. So I'm going to wet my page, and I'm just going to kind of make a squiggly circle around each bug. Okay? And that's because I'm going to paint the background a wet on wet technique. And it's going to kind of flow and mix in there. And then we're going to use a different technique to get them a little closer to, get the color a little closer to each bug. And you'll see it kind of gives it an interesting effect, because when they shine their little light, it reflects off of things, right? That's just the way light is. It's going to bounce off of stuff. Okay, so I've already sprayed my paints, so they're kind of a little bit gooey. They're not dry. And I'm just going to kind of put it in here, just in the water that's there. The more you dip in, the more pigment you get, the deeper the color is going to be, which is important because this is a night sky. And if you can't see the water, you can kind of angle it a little bit like this so that you can see where it is. It'll sort of make a reflective area. All right. Now, I like to pick my wet on wet work up and let it flow just a little bit. And it's fascinating to watch it do that anyway. So I'm going to let this flow. I'm going to move it around. Here we go. And later we'll put another little layer on something, but I'm going to show you this. And I'm just going to take my wet paintbrush and I'm just going to kind of paint it in the inside area where the bug is and let the paint that's there flow into that space. A lot of this is about practice. It's just figuring out how much water to let that go. And you just keep using a little bit more water. To let that flow in there. We're going to get just a little bit closer to those wings. You don't need to get it right up in there. That's the nature of watercolor. It's kind of accepted that it's not necessarily going to be that close. And I'm just kind of, while it's still really wet, I'm just sort of giving it a little extra flowiness there. And don't worry, you can fix a lot of things with ink. All right, so that is right up sort of close to the bug's wings. But it gives the illusion that the area around them has been illuminated. There we go. I'll let it flow a little bit more. Sometimes you can get a little bit of help. But once it starts to dry, you don't want to do this anymore because it will start to pick up the paint in places you don't want it to be picked up. And I'm just constantly moving the page around. All right, so that's kind of the way I want it. I'm going to get my heat tool out and go ahead and dry it. You can still continue to let it move. Can set yourself up for success, and we're going to paint in another layer. I'm going to put a little more water in my paint. So I'm going to paint in another little layer that is going to end up being grass. So you want a little darker all along the edge. And then you're just going to kind of flick some grass blades up into the scene here. You can even have some coming in from the side, you know, just like that. But you notice how the little circle there that I drew with the crayon is totally resisting the color. Now, if you wanted their little bottoms to be yellow, you could put yellow circles on the page and then put the clear crayon over that, so you would have, you know, a yellow blooming. But I decided that I wanted to do it this way. All right. I'm going to mix this color a little bit of magenta and a little bit of that blue, and I'm just going to kind of paint in their wings a little bit. If the background is dry, you don't have to be so careful. But I want them to be flitting around with night sky color on them, almost like they're camouflage. There we go. You could even, if you wanted to, put some of this grass in here with the purple, like in the foreground maybe. You're just flicking it with the tip of a round brush. And if it's wet at all, it's gonna bleed out a little bit. So I'm gonna try this again. Stratford waterproof pen. I said Stratford, it's Stradler, I'm sorry. It's a pigment liner. This one happens to be 02, which is really tiny. And we're gonna go here and just sort of outline the bugs a little. Color them in just a little, leaving some light, leaving some white on there, so that it looks like highlights, okay? You can put some little veins in their wings if you want to, and I'm gonna put some little stripes just to make them a little darker, okay? And I part that I forgot their little antennae. Such a fun word to say. So we're just quickly outlining these, giving them a little vein, putting some darker marks on the bug itself. Give a little outline to that light that's emitting from their abdomen. And of course, the more light you leave from the paper, the more natural highlights. It's just a miracle. Like, it looks so cool. There's so many sayings that you can add to something like this, but this could just be your little summer dream here, your little, you know, a way to revisit your childhood and running around and catching those. Tell me how you caught fireflies. Did you catch them with your hands or a net? We mostly just caught them with our hands. Butterflies are different. Butterflies I caught with a net, but that was during the daytime, and they could they weren't so frenzied as the fireflies were. All right, and then you can take this pen and give this grass some thickness and density. Make it look really rich. And it's literally just one swipe. Oh, pen's getting wet. So I'm gonna have to switch to another one. There we go. So you want it thicker at the bottom so that it's darker. And it doesn't have to all be straight. You can have them all crooked, because that's the way grass grows. And there's a few other little details you can fuss over, but see there? We'll take the tape off, and you will see how nice and fresh the edges are. I may go back and do a little bit more, so I'm going to leave that like that. But I'm going to turn you up here and talk to you for just a minute. So I wanted to do fireflies because it reminds me of a time in my life where I had a lot of excitement. And sometimes life will get you down. And if you're feeling kind of not yourself, like you've lost your spark, you don't know your identity anymore, maybe you want to play a little bit more, but you need permission or you need to be reminded how to do it, then I've got something I'm working on for you this fall. And I want you to think about that and think about all the things that really turn you on, really get you going, okay? Thanks so much for coming, and we'll be doing it again. I'm Laura from McNeely Garden Studios, Tuesday at 10.